guys, I'm Vinny Aquaponics, and I'm here to show you how to grow plants without using dirt. The process that I use to do this is aquaponics, which is a mixture between aquaculture and hydroponics. What hydroponics is when you try to grow plants without using dirt, using a fertilized-based water, which you add fertilizer into the water to supply the nutrients for the plants. And the aquaculture is farming fish to eat. What we use for aquaponics is a combination between those two methods. What we do, the reason why we do this is because it conserves on water. You can eat all of the plants and fish all year round. You can have all the leafy greens you want. It involves next to no weeding, and it's really easy to manage, and it's really self-efficient. Now let me show you how it's done. It all starts off with, as you can see, we have some mealworms for bait for the fish. It's off with the fish, which supply the nutrients using their food. As you can see in here, this is our where we hold the fish. We have it insulated so that it stays as warm as possible without it icing up. As you can see, we have water coming in from the greenhouse. We have an air stone to supply the air for the fish. And if you can see in there, we have some fish that can last in the cold, like some crappie and yellow perch. The reason why we do not use tilapia is because they need water that's really warm, and with our aquaponics, it's not as advanced, so we can't really do that quite. And I'm going to dump in these mealworms to feed the fish, and hopefully we can see some of them eat, and hopefully I can start some of them up. So, they don't like to eat while we're here for some reason. I don't know why. That's just how it is. But if you can see in there, we have about 5 crappie, which are really good size. And we have some perch in there. One is really big. We have about another 4 perch. And what happens here is we have suction that's created that slurps all the poop from the bottom and gets pumped out into the greenhouse, which then goes to our filter. A question that you might be asking yourself right now is, why does this come up a little wise? Because the reason why we have that is to create suction, because if the pump were to stop and this kept on draining because it's gravity fed, then our system would run dry. But the reason why we have that is to break the suction, and hopefully we don't lose too much water. The rest of the system. So let me go show you the filter and the rest of the system. Okay, here, this is our greenhouse that holds all of our, might be a little noisy, that holds all of our plants. We have minnow tank, we have a sump, which holds a lot of the water. Over here, as you can see, this blue tube, as you saw from the air stone. This is our air pump, which supplies all the air for the fish and the minnow tank. And here, this is a swirl filter. What it does, it intakes the water from the fish and all the heavy solids. It swirls so that way all the heavy solids go down to the bottom, and all the fresh fertilized water comes up and gets slurped and then goes down into the sump. And the sump basically holds mainly all the fertilized and clean water to go back to the IVC, which holds all the fish, and goes into the grow beds, and the plants absorb the nutrients. We have a few different grow beds here. This one uses pea gravel, and over there uses lava rock. The reason why we're using different soil is to try to figure out which one works best and which is more efficient. As you can see, we have this lovely celery over here that we've had all winter that has not died once. So that's really fortunate. So that tells us that this greenhouse has been staying warm all winter. And what this is right here in the middle of the grow bed is a bell siphon. What it does, it allows the water to get to a certain height, and then it slurps it out quicker than it comes in, so that way it drains straight down to the bottom and out here, as you can see. So what that does, it drains quicker, so that way it is completely empty, so that way the system can start again. It does the same for this one, and where it also goes is this, as you can see the stand up, that's a floating raft system. What this is a raft, obviously, that floats on top of the water with little net pots in it. And what these net pots have is a seed in each one that holds a lot of our leafy greens. And as you can see, the water is pumping here. And if you look in here, you can see there is a piece of PVC pipe that only allows the water to get to a certain height, so that way the plants do not drown. And what that does is it slips the water into this trash can. Another thing I forgot to tell you is this water does not stop, unlike some of the ones in these grow beds. This water is constantly moving. And what it does from there, gets slipped into here. From the trash can, it goes in through the pipe, back into the sump. And then from the sump, it gets pumped out back to the fish so that the cycle can start again. And over here, we have some of our little minnows that we use for bait, their nutrients, and if they end up dying, we can use them to feed some of the fish. And as you can see, I'm going to feed them like with the bigger fish. Yet the bigger fish, they have much larger bait as we use for the mealworms. And for the minnows, as you can see, they are a lot smaller. We have some baby bass in here. We have some sunfish that we took out from traps. As you can see, they're a lot smaller, and we have over a dozen easily. As you can see in our little minnow tank, as we have here, I took the air stone out so that way you can see all of the fish. This might be a better shot for you. As you can see, we use these minnows for bait, their fertilizer, and if they end up dying, we can use them to feed the bigger fish. We have some baby panfish in here, we have some creek chubs, and as you can see, I'm feeding them with these little pellets instead because with the bigger fish, you need bigger bait. With these things, they can't quite choke down a mealworm. Well, some of them could, but we use these little pellets that you can get from a aquaponics store. As you can see, they come in these big jars, and they're really good size. What we do is you get a little handful like that. You let them in there. You just sprinkle them everywhere, and the fish start eating them. And as you can see over here, we have some other plants in here. We have some parsley, we have some rosemary, and we have 2 strawberry plants. Right now, with these plants, we've had them all winter. They've lasted greatly in this greenhouse, and that's...
What you want to do, when I paused it, you probably want to back it up, and what I would do is I would sit you here, like I would probably stand like here, and say, okay, here are some of the advantages. Yeah, see? So stand there in front of the plants, and I would say, here's some of the advantages. Here's some of the advantages. Oops.
This is our aquaponics. So that's our aquaponics system. Some of the advantages that you might find is you can conserve a lot more water. As you can see, we've had this in here for a long time. We have no weeds, so that equals no weeding. It's all organic because you cannot use any pesticides or else it'll kill the fish. And as you can see, we can grow a lot of leafy greens here. Again, it's all organic. And what I mean by conserving water, I mean the water stays in the system compared to a garden where once you use that water, it is gone. And some of the disadvantages to having an aquaponic system is if the pump happens to stop working, you're out of electricity during the winter, everything stops, it all freezes, and then that's when everything stops running, everything starts to break, fish start freezing to death, and it can be really bad. Another disadvantage is if you happen to have a infestation, you cannot use pesticides or else it will get in the system, it will kill all your fish, and then you have no nutrients and the fish and the plants will start getting poor. In conclusion, this is how we grow up plants without dirt. People do this in their basement all the time. Hopefully you can try it out. All you need is a fish tank, a way to pump the nutrient water from your fish to the plants, and you need somewhere for the plants to grow in a pot or some, and have that water cycle back. And people do this in their basement all the time, and hopefully you guys can try it out one time.